Good morning, boys and girls. Happy Easter. What an exciting morning it is. I hope you're excited to come to church this morning and see all that God has for us with 2 services and a breakfast in between. That's right, Peter. We cannot forget the breakfast. Breakfast in between. And then hopefully you'll get to celebrate Easter with your family. But what is it we're celebrating? Why is today different? Why did we pick this Sunday, April 20th, to do church a little bit different? Well, it's not a time change, but church is at different times. So Easter, boys and girls, I'm sure you're like, Ms. Krupnick, we know. In the Bible, boys and girls, is the reason for Easter. Jesus is the reason that we celebrate Easter, his raising from the dead. So boys and girls, I looked up different object lessons, and you know what? I kept finding a lot of the same things that we've done before. So I decided, you know what? We're launching into the New Testament this summer. Oh, Peter, you can't leave me. Yeah, there's still a lot of value, boys and girls, in what we have to share. We're going to get into the New Testament this summer, boys and girls, and we'll start reading and studying a lot deeper into the New Testament. But I didn't want to skim over Easter either. So we're going to look at Mark chapter 15, kind of hit a couple verses just to talk about what happened to Jesus, and then we're going to focus on Mark 16 with his resurrection. So in Mark chapter 15, verses 17 all the way through 47 are talking about Jesus after he's been to Pilate and the things that they did to Jesus after that. Verse 17 says, "And they clothed him with purple and plaited a crown of thorns and put it about his head and began to salute him, 'Hail, King of the Jews.'" Boys and girls, Jesus, the one who's perfect, came down from heaven, allowed people to put the thorns in his head. He allowed the people to mock him. Verse number 19, "And they smote him on the head with a reed and did spit upon him, and bowing their knees worshipped him, and they mocked him." In verse 20, "They took off the purple from him and put his own clothes on him and led him out to crucify him." Boys and girls, they made fun of Jesus. They hurt Jesus. They spit on Jesus. All of these things happened to Jesus. But why did they have to happen, boys and girls? Why did Jesus have to come and go through all of that? Boys and girls, it's because you and I do things that are wrong. We sin. We've done things that have separated us from God. We've told lies before. We've cheated, or we've stolen, or we've disobeyed mom and dad and had a bad attitude. We've done things, boys and girls, to separate us from God. God says that no sin can enter heaven. So boys and girls, as sinners, we can't get there on our own. Jesus had to come and he had to pay the penalty, and it had to be Jesus because Jesus was perfect. When he was here on earth, he never sinned. He was perfect. So boys and girls, Jesus went through all of that. And like I said, this summer, although I'm sure we won't get through Jesus's life in one summer, but we're going to start the New Testament and we will get into more detail about what happened up to the resurrection. But now we're going to kind of fast forward 3 days. Okay, they've put Jesus in the grave. The stone has been rolled in front. There are the guards standing in front because they're actually afraid that Jesus's disciples would steal the body. So that's where we're picking up in Mark chapter 16. Verse number 1, "And when the Sabbath was past, Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of James and Salome, had bought sweet spices, that they might come and anoint him. And very early in the morning, the first day of the week, they came upon the sepulchre at the rising of the sun." So boys and girls, back then they did not treat dead bodies like we do today. But so they were going to go put some sweet smelling spices on, because if you've ever smelled roadkill on the side of the road, things that are dead stink. Okay, so they came to put sweet spices, and they did this early in the morning. Verse number 3, "And they said among themselves, 'Who shall roll us away the stone from the door of the sepulchre?'" So he said there's a huge stone rolled in front. They're like, "Oh, wait a minute. We didn't." Yeah, feeling strong today, Peter? Peter is stronger than I am, no doubt. But they're on their way, and they're like, "Who's going to roll that stone away?" Yeah, maybe. Then they looked, and Peter, do you know what they saw? The stone wasn't there. Verse number 4, and when they looked, they saw that the stone was rolled away, for it was very great. They're like, wait a minute, boys and girls, this isn't like a little pebble you're going to find out by the playground, okay? This was a giant stone, and it had been rolled away. And entering into the sepulchre, they saw a young man sitting on the right side, clothed in a long white garment. And they were affrighted. They were scared. They walk in, they're like, we expected to see a dead body, and now we see someone is living all in white. And the stone is rolled away, and Jesus' body is gone. Okay, yeah, they're looking, exactly. And he saith unto them, be not afraid. Ye seek Jesus of Nazareth, which was crucified. He is risen. He is not here. Behold the place where they laid him. So they walk in, and this person who's sitting there says, don't be scared. I mean, you're looking for Jesus, but he's not here. Boys and girls, do dead bodies get up and walk? No, they don't, okay? That would be very alarming if they did. They don't, okay? But they're like, okay, where'd he go? Still trying, their heart is like pounding super fast. Peter's still looking for Jesus too. Verse 7, but go your way, tell his disciples and Peter that he goeth before you. Peter, that's right, you got named. Into Galilee, there shall ye see him as he said unto you. So he says, all right, go tell the disciples, tell Peter, you know what Jesus told you about raising from the dead, it happened. Jesus is no longer dead. Verse 8, and they went out quickly. Yeah, I think I'd flee quickly too. And fled from the sepulchre, for they trembled and were amazed. Neither said they anything to any man, for they were afraid. They were so scared they couldn't talk. And then verse number 9. Now when Jesus was risen early the first day of the week, he appeared first to Mary Magdalene, out of whom he had cast out 7 devils. And he went and told them that had been with him as they mourned and wept. And they, when they had heard that he was alive and had seen of her, believed not. After that he appeared in another form unto 2 of them, as they walked and went into the country. And they went and told it unto the residue, neither believed they them. Boys and girls, kind of ironic in a sense. The disciples had seen Jesus raise Lazarus from the dead. They had seen somebody who was dead be alive, and yet they don't believe that Jesus himself has risen, even though Jesus has told them over and over. But boys and girls, we kind of look at it. We have the end of the story. We know what happened. If we were in the disciples' shoes, we'd probably be pretty scared and nervous too, and a little skeptical of what happened. But boys and girls, Jesus did rise from the dead. He showed himself to many people. We have his word that's completely true that tells us he rose from the dead. We have our changed lives. Those of us who've accepted him as our Savior, we know Jesus made a difference. We know that he changes us. Boys and girls, chapter 16 ends with Jesus giving a command to the people. I just lost the verse. Sorry, boys and girls. Verse number 14. After he appeared unto the 11 as they sat at meat and upbraided them, and that with their unbelief and hardness of heart, because they believed not them which had seen him after he was risen. Verse 15. And he said unto them, go ye into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. So he gives them a command. When they've realized this is Jesus they're talking to, and he's about to go into heaven, he says, go into the world and tell everyone about me. Boys and girls, that's our job too. We have the same thing. It's Easter. How many people have you told about what Easter actually means and what Jesus did for you? Boys and girls, I hope this Easter you'll take time to tell people about what Jesus did for you and why we